Hello there. Oh, I don't have my usual mics today because I forgot the little cord that connects the receiver to my phone. Because of course I did. I sort of rushed out of the house a little bit. Well, not really, but I thought I had everything, but I just didn't. So, that's on me. But what I wanted to talk about was Western Power. The bastards. Now, you ask anyone in Western Australia what they think of Western Power, and you'll probably get a 20-minute rant out of them. For good reason. Yesterday and the day before, Western Power were contracted, or obligated, I guess you could say, to replace a power pole the first day, and then I think it was a transformer the second day in my local area around where I live. Now, usually this doesn't take long, like half a day to a day's work to change one pole, and then around the same to change the transformer. And because it was 2 days back to back, we thought Western Power were going to do what Western Power always does and just keep our power off for that entire 48 hours, essentially. Thankfully, they didn't do that, which was a surprise to us. What the? Walk through a big swarm of midgies. Get out of my face. Anyway, so we were thankful for that. However, today, there hasn't been any scheduled work as far as anyone's been made aware of. Yet, I woke up at 6 o'clock to my power going out, because when my power goes out, everything beeps and shuts down, and because I like to have noise, not much noise, but a little bit of noise when I'm like sleeping. So when everything cuts out and everything just turns off, I wake up. So I wake up, there's no power. I think, really? Again? Anyway, the power comes back on like a few minutes later or something. I'm like, oh, that was a bit weird, but okay, maybe they were just testing something and we'll be good for the rest of the day. Fast forward a couple hours, I'm working on a video. Everything goes black. Everything goes dark. No power. Right in the middle of working on a video, which was nice. So I lost all the progress. Well, a couple minutes progress because I've got autosave on, luckily. But also, having the power just cut like that is not good for any computer components whatsoever. I have surge protectors on all my stuff. I'm not an idiot, but it's still not good for it. Another swarm of midgies. I've probably got one in my eye. Anyway. Power comes back on probably 30 seconds after it goes out. And I think, what the hell? Oh well, I'll just start everything back up again. I don't want to lose my workflow, even though I pretty much had at that point. So, start everything back up, start working again. Not 2 minutes after I start working again, everything shuts off again. And at this point, I'm absolutely fuming, yelling and going off my head. For good reason. And I think it's my power, like my own meter inside my house, like my own switchboard and everything, like an RCA's tripped or something. So I go and check that, and as I'm walking out of my room, the power turns back on, which immediately indicates that it's nothing to do with my house. Because if it was to do with my house, it would have tripped the breaker and power wouldn't come back on until I flicked that breaker back on. And I've come to the end of the trail, so I'm just going to turn around and go back. Because there's a lot of people back there. So, I realise it's nothing to do with my house's power, but I go down and I check the board anyway, just to make sure nothing's tripped. Nothing's tripped. Everything's completely fine on my side of the grid, I guess you could say. So then I'm like, what the actual hell? So because my anger levels are like way up here, I'm like, right, I'm going to go into town, I'm going to go to the gym, and I'm going to get groceries and just do the things that I need to do for the day that I can do when I don't have power. I get to the gym, I go to scan my little fob. Nothing happens. I'm like, huh? Oh God, don't tell me. I go up to the big sliding doors. Nothing. I look inside. Everything's pitch black. No one's inside. Now keep in mind, it is 1 p.m. on a Thursday. There is zero chance of them being closed for any reason besides the power being off. So I'm like, oh great. These guys don't have power. Keep in mind, when I left my house, the power had come back on, and it was currently on when I left my house. So I'm like, great. I wonder if it's the whole town. So I go into my old workplace, which is a cafe just down the street from the gym. And lo and behold, when you know it, they're packing up early because the power's out. And I'm like, well, that's not good. So I go to my local IGA, which is just a grocery store, supermarket, whatever you want to call it, in my local area. And because they're such a key important business for the entire town, they have backup generators. So their backup generators are running, so they could do everything and have everything running still. So that was lucky. I was able to get some groceries and do that for the day. But the reason why I'm bringing all of this up and going into such excruciating detail, is because the only possible way that power would be out for the entire town is if something went wrong. And what's just happened the last couple of days? Western Power has done work, put in upgrades to my local area. They screwed something up. In their infinite wisdom, they completely wrecked something else that was probably fine. Or they just didn't install what they were installing properly. I don't know what's going on. But they screwed it up. And now everyone else in my area is very pissed, including myself. So that's why I'm currently out here, walking around in this lovely area, because I have literally nothing else that I can do. I'd love to do many other things. Many other things. Can't do them, because I need power to do them. I don't even have water in my house, because guess what I need in order to run the pumps to run water to my house? Power. Imagine that. Yeah. I do have a generator at home, but it's just a tiny little petrol engine. It can only really run the lights, the fridges, the freezers, and a couple of appliances, really. It can't run, well, it can run my whole setup, my computers and everything, but it's not a regulated amount of power the whole time. It surges quite a bit. Yes, I do have surge protectors, but having any fluctuation in power really screws with computer chips. Like, really screws with them. And I don't want to mess with that. I don't want my computer to start crashing and blue screening like it did the last time I had to run it on the generator. And just the last time, the power kept cutting out several times a day. I finally got my computer back to a stage where it's not crashing, blue screening all the time. And I really don't want to go back to it. But yeah, that's my little rant for the day. I managed to actually keep myself quite low-tempered, surprisingly. Also, it's like 25 degrees out and sunny, and I've got 2 shirts on. Not a good idea. But anyway, that's all I really had to say for this video. I also had to switch hands because I haven't held a camera up like this in a while. So my shoulder was getting tired. I also haven't been to the gym in like a week, and I wasn't even able to go today. And the reason I haven't been to the gym is because I got a flat tire in my car, but that's for a different video. I'll probably record that next. But anyway, love you all. See you in the next one. Peace.